What's up, what's up? Let's check if the audio is on correctly on Twitch and YouTube. On Twitch it looks like it's alright. And how about YouTube? 1 2 1 2. Okay, audio looks alright in both of those cases. That is great. We will start shortly. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I'm Ado. I'm a game developer streaming on the free time that I have. Last stream and today's stream were dedicated to looking at 5.5 preview and at new PCG nodes. And I had the possibility of playing with isolines and other stuff, and right now I'm trying to use what I learned to create like a simple, maybe not so simple, but a kind of a funny system in PCG that will be able to attribute a temperature to a point based on its distance to equator, and based on this temperature we could start spawning something. We could also take altitude and the distance to water into the account, but this might be a little bit more complicated. Basically what I'm trying to do is, and let me take out my trusty goddamn notepad. I have it. So if we imagine our level as this square, and we have our y and x axis, right? Here is y, here's x axis. I'm gonna treat y equals 0 as an equator, and I'm gonna treat the most up north bound of my PCG volume as North Pole, and my southmost bound of my PCG volume as South Pole. And the assumption is the hottest temperature, maybe I could do it with this. Thank you. Yeah, on the equator it will be the hottest, right? Then it will be a little bit less hotter. God damn it. A little bit less hotter. More temperate. Even more temperate temperatures. And at some point it's going to get a little bit more icy. And there will be a complete ice cover, right? And the same things down, right? And the idea is that with PCG, I'll be calculating distance to equator, and the idea is to create such a rule-based system that it will be spawning things depending on the three environmental factors: temperature, altitude, And maybe I'm still, you know, weighing my options if I want to do this. Distance to water. Because you can, you know, create rules to play around with ad infinitum. You can just basically do it, create more and more additional rules until you are close to reality, and that's not what I really want to do here. I just want to preview a couple of nodes, build a system, and move on to the next topic, or come back to the design topics, game design topics. So the first rule, whoa, that's not the color I want to use. The first rule will be temperature. This will pick a subset of things that could be spawned. Then height or altitude. I should say altitude. And then the third, maybe distance to water. Distance to water, maybe. I'm not sure. But these two I would love to implement as a rule based, as a choosing, right? Probably I will have to make my own node in PCG. But still, the temperature should be distributed evenly based on the distance to equator, our y equals 0. And I know that I basically created like a very discrete values of temperatures here. So it looks like there will be a long line of green, long line of sand, long line of scorched shit, etc., etc. But in all actuality, I want it to be more of a gradient type of deal. So that's exactly what we will try to accomplish right now. We are trying to come up with the logic of distributing the temperature evenly across the points sampled on landscape. That's the idea. Right now we have something. From what I remember, we have the old graph. Let's pause regeneration. Let's name it distance to equator, because that's what I actually want to call it. Distance to equator. Yeah, because I was doing an experiment here where I was calculating the distance to equator and attributing the scale of a point depending on how far from equator are we. If we are close to equator, our points have a small scale. If we are near the North Pole, they have huge scale, right? But that's not exactly what I wanna... It was just a test, right? So let me change all of that, delete this shit. Let's do this. Yeah, we don't have points right now. We can just, you know... Yeah, I also don't need that. I have all these points, right? And I want them to have attribute of temperature. And I want this to be evenly distributed along the x-axis. So we'll be looking at the world like this. And that's kind of how I want them to look. Okay, what was that? I don't think I need that anymore. No, but it can stay, whatever. What we need right now is I have my distance to equator calculated in here. The way you can preview the values is select your node, click A on a keyboard for analysis, then choose which PCG you want to analyze, because your one actor can have couple of PCG components, or it can be world partitions, and then you can preview each partition, right? But we have the last parameter here created, distance to equator. Some things are super close to equator in units and some things are super far. That's great, but now I want to create an attribute of temperature. And I want what I want. I want to start assigning temperature based on my distance to equator. And let me see if there is a math node already that would basically do a map ranged clamp. If there is, then I don't need to create my own node. If there isn't, I need to create my own mode. There's just a clamp max. That's not that. There's no ranging. Is there anything with the range? Attribute filter range and pole filter range. That's not it. I guess I have to create my own node. I barely remember how to do it, to be honest. So let me take something as an example. That's how I usually do. I can just take an example of plugins. I can take PCG framework content, BP elements, and here are a couple of nodes that are still being used. Curve remap density, distance to density, and a couple of other nodes. There are a couple of deprecated, but let's use the one that is up to date. First of all, we need to create a new blueprint that is parented to PCG blueprint element, and then I need to override a couple of functions. Execute with context, which is this when I'm preparing data from what I remember. Point loop body, where I do actual operations on points. Here I have an in point, I have an out point, and I can do some operations here, and I can override the node, right? So let's do exactly that. Click, click, all classes, PCG blueprint element. Thank you, selected. We'll be calling it BP PCG map ranged clamp. I wonder if you can even do this kind of attribute operation in Blueprint. We will see. It would be lovely. Okay, so there are a couple of functions, like I said, to override. One is node title override. I can do it. I think it will be map range clamped on attributes. That's one node that I wanna override. The other is execute with context or iteration loop body. What are they doing exactly with the execute with context? They're setting context. Okay. Setting context, original component in that context, in the local variable. They're setting PCG volume actor because I think they might need it. Then they are changing input labels. Then they are doing point loop on this context, on the saved context. Context to point data. They're setting target actor. I'm not sure if I need all that. Let me look once again at some other point from player pawn. That is interesting. Oh, they only did execute with context. Holy shit. They took the player controller, they computed things, created a PCG point, and if it is completed, construct PCG point data. Ah, yeah, they didn't need to iterate over points. Okay. So maybe let's look at those deprecated ones. Attribute operation. Oh, maybe. Holy shit, that's some crazy fucking shit. They did a lot of stuff here. Output attribute name, that's something that I might need. Output attribute name. That's some crazy stuff. Inputs by pin label, okay. Okay, let's design our node, because what I want to have is basically create the name of the output. I want to basically create the where's my goddamn stuff? I want to provide the input attribute, right? Name that it will be taking. The min and max value of input, right? Min max input. And I want to type in output attribute name and the max min output. That's what I want. Okay, so let's do it iteratively. When I spawn in my new node here, here. No, not simulation. Expose to library, yes. Whatever, custom. Description, I don't need a description. Oh, I can require, oh! Okay, custom input pins, but I don't really need custom input pins. Not really. But basically, let me, yeah, right now I am kind of learning how to make your own PCG node and blueprint that operates on attributes, right? I created a couple of PCG nodes, but in C++ code, so I wonder how that differs. I want to see how that will go. So let's jam it. First of all, let's see if our map range clamped on attributes. It is there. Okay. We have it here. Now I want to add distance to density. Distance to density. How that works? Okay, there are like a couple of variables here. Density mode, blah blah blah. How these are just variables ticked as visible. So when I add here a variable called input attribute name and make it into just a name, it has to be a name, make it visible, what will happen in my PCG? I have input attribute name visible. That's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. So I also want to have input attribute max min clamp, and that will be a float. Let's duplicate that and name it max clamp. Let's duplicate that and name it output attribute name. Let's duplicate that. Output and output. And what we should see is a couple of things in here. Great. Let's put some actual default values that might make any lick of sense. Okay, great. So we have our variables. That's good. Now, do I actually need execute with context overridden? Do I do anything super specific on execute context? I'm not sure. I don't really have custom input labels to tag them and put them as a data. I don't really have two inputs. I don't need to construct any. I don't think I don't need to construct anything. I'm not sure. We will see. Let's freestyle it shit out of this. Append attribute set. Maybe this will help us a little bit. Execute with context. Construct PCG attribute set. New table metadata. Add entry. There is some stuff done here before everything is sent into looping points. Add attributes. Set attributes by key. There is stuff being done here. What can help us? This is something similar, right? Attribute vector length, and they still override and execute with context. They are getting inputs, breaking this data, getting attributes, last index. They're creating a new point data. Create float attribute on this new data for this point. And it's not in a for each loop. Then what it does, then it has a point loop. Then it adds this new PCG tagged data to the out data and then makes PCG data collection. I might have bit off more than I could chew right now, but let's see. Let's maybe right now override the point loop body. Let's see what I want here. Because what I want here is kind of similar to here. I just want to take a point, do some operations in it, and that's it. So I want to take my point, or rather I should say metadata attribute, add attribute. That's one thing that I'm not sure. Get bool attribute, get float attribute. But I first want to see if it even has an attribute. Has attribute set. If it has this attribute, that's what I want to see. If we don't, then basically don't do anything. Out point goes without any change. Yes. And if it doesn't, it should just go like this. I should actually do double of those operations because I'm only interested if it has both of those attributes, right? I don't need nothing if it doesn't have. Oh my god, this thing can get messy real quick. Yeah, and Boolean. If we have both of those attributes. I'm probably not doing it very well or efficient or anything like that. But I want to make sure if I have this attribute, then I can proceed. If I don't, I cannot proceed. And actually I should maybe, for the sake of making everything a little bit easier to access, create a couple of local variables like promote to local variable, current PCG point, meta data. I think that's what we are mostly interested in. Yeah, so the graph will be easier to follow. I want to have these virtual local variables. Yeah, and let's check if those are all both true. If it has those attributes that I'm asking here for, then it should perform an operation. I want map range clamped in here. So get float attribute. I want to use that metadata. Use that PCG point. Current input value. And it is of course this. Current. Now I want to perform this kind of operation where I'm taking my current input value, the range that I asked for, right? Because what will happen here is the input value will be the distance from equator. Min and max will be, 0, and the maximum value of North Pole, which will be just the northmost bound point. And output range will be temperatures between -20 and 50, for example, right? Something like this. And that way I'll be able to distribute evenly temperature across all the points. Can I just set float attribute? No, I want to take this, set float attribute on my output attribute name. This is my value, and this is the metadata. So it means that the attributes have to be created beforehand. I could spice up this node so it will automatically create attributes if it doesn't have any, but I kind of don't want to be bothered with it right now. And my return output here, I can return true. I can return true here. That's the stuff that I want to be doing here. Check if I have the attributes that I'm asking for. If I have both of them, then I can work out. If I don't, nothing will happen. I'm taking the float attribute, doing a simple operation of map ranging, setting the float attribute, and returning it. Let's see if that will work out. First of all, before I even use that, I need to append attribute here. Where was that shit? Metadata, yes, bitwise, attribute cast, compare. I just want to create new attribute and add it to all the data sets. Point match and set, no, no, merge, match and set attributes, no. Make float attribute, that's I think what I want, right? Yes, make float. Why? How does that work? No. Visualize attribute? Oh, that's nice. I didn't know this. I will test it out in a second. Sort attribute, cast, no, no. These are math. Rotator, string, transform. I just want to create an attribute and append it. How do you do that? Can you even do this from here? I thought that you can. Yes, add attribute. And the attribute will be temperature. And it will be just a float. How does that look like? I have a distance to equator and everything is a temperature at 0. Great. I have both distance to equator and the temperature. Let's save this. Let's unhook this. Now, here I want to do input attribute as distance to equator. What is the max value in here? Yeah, let's do 90,000. From 0 till 90,000. Now the output attribute, temperature. Let's go from from 50, because on 0 it's supposed to be this, and on 90,000 it's supposed to be -20. Let's see if our node works out. Woo! And nothing. That's great. The node doesn't work. We have our input, we don't have our output. And I have no idea why. We can try to debug it, but I'm not sure if it works like this. Did I mess up something here? This song comes ideally in every moment where I have a problem. I really want to see if log. Okay, print string. Print to log, yeah. I want to see if false attribute. I want to see if I'm not finishing it prematurely. So let's see it. Force region, and let's look in the output log. Freaking nothing. What the flying hell? Okay, let me click on that. Create cleanup. Force generate. Huh. No data on this stuff. Why it doesn't work out? Do I have to always overwrite? Execute with context? Can I just call to parent function and call it a day? I don't really do anything with the context. So why would I care? I am not sure, really. Here I have points, here I don't have points. What the fuck? What am I missing? No data available. Input data is correct. Output data is fucked. What am I missing here? And I'm not even seeing... I don't see false attribute here. That's something that I'm not seeing here. But do I even do point loop? Or am I not doing it? Let's debug this shit with the logging. Okay, let's clear the log. Nothing. It's like if my point loop is not happening. Maybe that's the problem. Because there's always like some new add data entry, blah blah blah. There's always the call of point loop. But I don't need to create new. Okay. Let's try that. Let's try exactly that. Because I don't really do anything complicated with the context. Okay, I still need to do something. And data. 2-point data with context. Okay, so what should I do with the context? I mean, what should I do with the data? Okay, I can just copy that. Let's see if that will help in any way, shape, or form. Maybe I'm just not calling point loop if there is no log in there. And I was supposed to look at the point data. Okay. The point data with my context. Okay. After point loop data has happened, I have to put out data. PCG tags data, okay. Whatever that is. Let's copy that. And this is supposed to be an array. Let's look again at our example. This is what we're supposed to technically do. And make it into a PCG data collection, and then put that as an output, put that in here, something like this. So if of course I haven't plugged that in, and input goes in there. Okay. So the way it works, it's taking the data from the input, creating a PCG tag data from it. That's one. Okay, another thing. I'm supposed to break this data from here, right? And I'm breaking it, putting it here, but then I'm not inputting it anywhere. I'm a Dumbo. This is what I'm supposed to cast to PCG spatial data. Yeah. Where the hell is this? Ah, yes, I am casting it. To point with data context. Okay, so I'm creating my data, I'm iterating over it, creating output data. Should work, possibly. I think I just crashed the engine. No, it actually executed some tasks. And do I have the correct output log? No, the whole engine froze. I might have fucked up something. That's good. You cannot learn without fucking up. Oh, but at least right now I have my logs. That's great. That's what I wanted. Some Halloween candy and but the problem is the temperature is unchanged. Alright. But at least right, I know I cannot take a shortcut without overriding execute with context and getting my input data, iterating over it, and then outputting it. I thought that maybe the parent execute with context will be alright, but it isn't. But I see it isn't finding anything. Wait a second. From what I see, woo! This candy is sweet as a motherfucker. Let's see if that log will pop up at any second. Clear the log. The one thing that you can notice is that this node that I created on my own is slow as ass. And the reason for that is because usually the blueprint nodes are way slower than their C++ counterpart. That's why in like a professional setup, the one that I have at work, I'm never creating blueprint nodes. So if this were go to shipping, I would treat this blueprint as a prototype and then redo it in C++. And in all actuality, in my opinion, in C++ it is easier than in blueprint. Anyway, so you know. Yep, my output log shows that it doesn't have attribute. Or I am dumb and I'm asking for it in a bad way. Has attribute set. That's also a valid point that I might be just doing it wrong. Let's override this. So maybe I'm not really... I don't know how to get correct values of those. The whole system froze. And now it works actually. So I was asking if the attribute exists in the wrong way. That's fine. But it assigned it in the wrong way anyway. Because here it's supposed to be 50, yeah. But here it's supposed to be minus 20. What is going on, bro? You're supposed to take distance to equator, assign 0 to 50, and 90,000 to minus 20. What is your problem, man? What is going on here? Should I have done like this? Not really. It just assigns max temperature everywhere. And it doesn't make sense, really. And the last suite for now. That it is for now. Why it would assign 0.50? That is kind of stupid. It should. Ah yeah, on 0 it's supposed to be 50, but on the max value it's supposed to be minus 20. None of it makes sense. Maybe I shouldn't have put the abs in here. Let's see how that will work out. Oh my god, the blueprint version of nodes are slow as hell. It just looks like it doesn't do any change to temperature whatsoever. Like the data is not being really set on temperature in my node. That's what it looks like. Because that's not how it would work with regular values. Oh my god, I need to pause the regeneration. And regeneration. Pause. Can I pause regeneration? Thank you. Because I think right now it's that fact. Set float attribute on the endpoint. I don't think it works. So let me look once again and point to body how they do it. They create a source point, then they make point, copy it as destination point, mutable metadata. They are getting vector attribute. Oh damn, of course I am a dumb motherfucker. I was trying to change metadata that wasn't mutable. of freaking course. It will make it even slower, but whatever. Because what I'm supposed to do here is, of course, current PCG point, I should take it, break it, make PCG point, just copy everything, really, of course, okay, metadata entry is not being copied here, or whatever. Yes, of course, I am stupid. How could I forget that? And this is my... I could get output points, etc. like here, whatever. That thing I can delete. And the destination point, yeah. No. I misclicked. Of course, I am stupid. Now, mutable data. I'm gonna change the name to mutable metadata. And I'm supposed to connect out metadata to this. But I cannot, okay. Oh no, sorry, in data. Okay, we'll correct my mistake in a second. I have my destination point, I have my mutable data, just as they did here. This one is not connected, so it's okay. My source point, get vector attribute. So that's where I get mutable data here. Yes, get float attribute. Metadata, out metadata. But destination point, yeah. So here, destination point. Here also, I should have put out my destination point, not the point that I'm iterating over that is immutable. But metadata is supposed to be this. The one that I'm outputting, actually. Now it should be correct, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I think it should be correct. Let's see now. What will happen with our temperature? Oh. That's funny. Our distance to equator got fucked. And was correct before. And the temperature isn't budging anyway, but the distance to equator got fucked, so... I hope this whole stream won't be about this one goddamn node. Current PCG point data, get float attribute from mutable metadata. But our destination point also doesn't have our but I think, yeah, I also need to copy the float attribute of temperature, right? Set float attribute. So I need to copy this, and I need to get float. I know from source point. Sorry, from get float attribute. Ah, no, I can just take current input value. I don't know what that is. Oh my god, I haven't clicked pulse regeneration, so it's constantly regenerating, and I don't want that. No, that's not what I wanted to click. That's what I wanted to click. I have a warning here. Output generation for out does not have valid point metadata. Oh, now that is interesting. I wonder why is that? More shit. Do I have to do all this? Maybe. Maybe. Let me take these into my execute with context. What the hell? That's... ah, yeah. I keep forgetting to click pause regeneration. God damn it. Thank you. And still, output generated for pin out does not have a valid point metadata. But why, you guy? Why? it would made sense that I'm not doing anything on that if I first operated on non-mutable, immutable data and I wasn't changing jack shit. And now it looks like I had mutable, or should I say metadata, completely all wrong. Let's get back to this once again. There is something done with PCG attribute set, mutable metadata. Creating metadata out of it. And here it doesn't do any metadata. But it operates on something that it already has. Oh my god, I kinda hate it right now. Optional out data. Does output log tells me anything? Why can't I click output log right now? I can't click anything. Unreal, work with me. What is going on? Oh. I think I have a leak in memory. Yeah, I'm gonna kill Unreal Editor before it breaks everything. That was fun. That's what you can do when you are working on your custom PCG nodes. You can unintentionally create something that will blow out your physical memory. Maybe I could do it without custom node, just based on attributes. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to restore this fast. Maybe I want to skip restore. I might have killed the whole project right now. Let me open up those assets, yeah. And maybe let me unhook it before it destroys everything. Maybe I can just do it via operations within the graph. Maybe I don't need to have this thing, but that's a small bot. I need to take a quick pause, so I will be back shortly. So I'll be back in a hot second. What's up? I'm back. I'm back in this shit. Okay, so I think I might be losing my mind and more time trying to fix that node, so I will try to do some simpler version just by using attributes. It will be messed up, but whatever. So what we want to do right now is create a simple calculation of map range clamp, really. And to that we need to use lerp and some min-maxing. So first of all we need to, because basically what we need to do mathematically, let's clean up a little bit. Yep. Mathematically, what we need to do, we have one range of value. Let's say here is 0. We have, for example, one range of value between -20 and maximum of 50. This is our target that we want to hit, right? And then we have values between 0 up to, for example, 100,000, right? Centimeters, meters, or whatever, right? And we have some, I don't know, alpha value here, right? And we want to map what is the proportionate range, proportionate clamp between these values if we were to map it on this range, right? So first thing that we need to calculate is what is that range, which will be maximum value minus minimum value. If that is above 0, it will create correct value, and if it was below 0, it will also minus with minus creates plus, and it will be correct, right? This is our range, and we will divide our value by that range. This is our lerp target, really. And then we can just, our lerp percentage, maybe we should call it. And then we can just take this range, -20, 50, lerp it by our lerp percentage, and this will be our beta, or I don't know how to really assign it, alpha prime mapped on this value. So we can actually create a mappings between two ranges, right? Yeah, the last hour was wasted, unfortunately, trying to figure out making blueprints with PCG nodes with blueprints. I'm not a big fan of it because the metadata there, I don't understand it really. In C++ it is way easier, in my opinion. I might do some stream on C++ and PCG. I debugged the shit out of it. I created so much problems, but learned because of them. Okay, but first we need to take our, maybe to make it more, yeah, first of all let's work out the math of this whole thing. So we have our max, we also need our min value, right? Let's put our max here. Our input source is, of course, our distance to the equator. Our output can be max distance to equator. And we will see that we have something that is not right, because it should be one value, really. Why? That's exactly not what I wanted. I just wanted to look through all my data set within the attribute set of distance to equator and just print out one attribute of one attribute of max distance, which should be this value, 100 something, and it should have been put in every goddamn point. What the hell? I don't understand how this works, if that's the case. What is this? Is this what I'm seeking? Attribute reduce? Yes, this is what I'm seeking. I just used the wrong node. Let me also do this, but instead use min. And this will be min, right? Yep, now this subtract this. Yep. And right now we need to take our exact value from here and calculate the lerp percentage, which means this is our divider, right? If I remember how to call these things correctly in English. This is not needed right now. This is also the new node. I haven't seen this. Max, min, average, join, sum. Median also would be cool here, but whatever. Right, this is our divider, and now we want to take here and divide our distance to equator by divider. This will be this, and the output is lerp percentage. And this should create our lerp percentage, how close we are to the max value. We can test that by seeing. Yes, distance to equator is lowest, lerp percentage is 0 basically. Lerp percentage is the highest. This is our maximum lerp percentage, right? And it will be changing. That's exactly what we wanted. I should have gone this route instead of doing my new node. It was always supposed to be looking through the already existing nodes. God damn it. What a mistake I made. But that's how you learn, boys. If you think all the pros in the game development are just knowing things, if they know something, it is because they fucked up on something. Or so someone else fucked up. Fuck up something. Okay, so we have our lerp percentage. Now we just need to do lerp node. Yeah, regular lerp node. And force up to double. No, not really. And temperature. And ratio. Our ratio is exactly lerp percentage. Our input source will be create attribute -20, 50, and we should have our temperature. Yes, and it took 15 minutes instead of hour. Oh my god. If anyone is watching this live or through the VOD, just do it with the attributes. And if you really need to create your own node to do something specific, just use C++. I don't recommend Blueprint. unless you're prototyping or you have a big, you know, lots of experience doing metadata attributes operations in blueprints. I don't know, to me it is way too complicated to do it in blueprints than to do it in C++. Let me put it like right here. Okay, so we have our temperature. It would be nice to visualize that, but from what I saw in debug, no, I saw that there was new debug print string, no, visualize attribute. That was something cool. Let's see, attribute source, it will be temperature. Yeah, it can be colored like this, preface with index. Not really, I don't care about that. Point limit, I'm not really sure what that is, but what do you mean it doesn't exist? It does exist. I see it here. Temperature. I made a typo. Okay, I don't see anything. Ah, it only shows 4,000 points, but it's still good. We can see some temperature going on in here, and I think I fucked up something because the coldest regions are... Wait, what? Temperature and minus? Wait. Hold up. It should be the other way around. Here should be minus 20. On the equator, it should be minus... On the equator, it should be 50. So I fucked up something. And I think I know what. I should have plugged these in the other way around, right? Is that correct? Yep. The order of operation here should be minus 20, yes. That's a nice new node. I can visualize my temperature that way, but there should be a better way of visualizing it, right? By color, for example. And I remember there used to be something with color. Using color. But I don't really remember what it was. And how to use it, really. I don't really remember. Was there something in the PCG sample content about colors? Or maybe something on the Unreal Engine documentation? Let's see. Unreal PCG color. Okay, whatever. Yeah, but we can, for example, right now assign temperature. We can do what we were doing at the beginning, which is multiply, for example, scale.z via temperature and put it as new scale z. Why do I need to... that's something weird. This is always something weird. Yeah, and I can just look at this and scale z is multiplied by temperature. And I should also maybe... do an apps just to show it. And let's see it. What the? It looks weird. And it looks wrong. Okay. I wanted to quickly visualize that, but whatever. Right now we have temperature spread out among the points evenly. I think I remember there was something about static mesh spawner and being able to set params on material. I think there was something like this. There was override materials. Mesh selector by attribute, okay. Attribute name. Here still is. I think there was something like this.
Stwierdzam, że Sejm poprawkę przyjął.
Let me look at the product board. Maybe there will be some information. I know that there is something like that. Whatever. But now we have our temperature, and we also want to have elevation. Should we treat just z and z equals 0 as an elevation? Elevation isolines. We do have that. But that's not what we want to do right now, huh? Yeah, we will treat 0 above z equals 0 as sea level, and everything above it is just our height, right? So our position z is basically our height. So we can start spawning things based on that. And that's where I would also love to get into blueprint spawner. That's a pain in the butt. No, I mean blueprint node. Because right now I want to choose based on temperature. Which guy should I spawn? Let's, for example, let's populate just anything between our max and between 50 and 35 degrees centigrade. Let's start spawning there. Let's right now not use the gradient. Let's just create a simple spawn. Let's see how that will work out. And we will build up from there, because right now I'm not sure even what I wanna spawn and how I wanna manage it. Not yet. I wanna see what kind of stuff I wanna build, really. And then I will make informed decision about the system that I wanna build. So, if I remember, there used to be some node where I could just filter out things that I wanted. And I think I already used that node. New node experiments, right? Attribute filter, of course. There's also attribute filter range. I am not against that. Target is temperature. Let's say it is a float. And this is also a float. Between 35 and 50. And let's spawn stuff in there. Debug. Let's see if it works correctly. Yeah, this is our equator line. This is our equator line, the hottest one, right? Maybe I've given it too much. How about 40 degrees? Yeah, let's do that. And what should we spawn here? Let's select something from our... No, I wanted to use this. Meshes. Bamboo. Yeah, maybe let's spawn this. Static. Wait. What is this? Static mesh to dynamic mesh element? What is that? Request LOD type. I can have a material here. Some material. Huh, I'm not sure what. Convert the static mesh into dynamic mesh data. That is superbly interesting. And what I could do with that. Looks like I could do everything with that, but dynamic mesh. Append meshes from points. Boolean. create empty dynamic mesh transform, merge dynamic mesh, spawn static mesh, spawn dynamic mesh. Wow. And what I can do here, post-process function names. Okay. And what I could do more with dynamic mesh, append meshes from points, in points. Okay, and wow, there's so much new shit in here. I think that's how you can build some dynamic meshes in PCG. That is interesting. But what right now I'm trying to choose from, or maybe I should use this desert static meshes. If it is a desert, I want to have this bush. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's for now use a couple of static mesh spawners. Yeah, I don't care about that. And maybe let's add another by attribute material overrides. That's what I was searching for. By attribute material overrides. Okay. No, that's not what I searched for. Okay, doesn't matter. Sorry. Yeah, another mesh. Another one. And another one. This yellow thingy. Yeah, and let's just spawn this stuff. It doesn't really look right, but we should probably transform points and rotate them 360 and maybe change the scale between 1 and freaking 4. That's what we should have done. Now you can see that there is some kind of deserty pass in here. But I'm not really fond of doing it like that. Yeah, it created something, but not really what I want. But let's build it step by step, shall we? This is one filter range. We can comment it. That it is between 30 and 50. Yeah, now let's use the exact same stuff, but between 20 and not inclusive 40. Transform point the same way. Let's comment it from 20 to 40. No. Thank you. Yes, from 20 to 30. And from JD Husk W. Hi man. How are you doing? And here I want this to be maybe from 0 to 20 non-inclusive. How is your day going? From 0 to 10. And let's do an ice polar stuff. And I want this to be from our -20 till non-inclusive 0. JD Husk W says, great, what about you? I'm doing great as well. I'm doing great as well, thank you. Right now I am basically looking at 5.5 preview. 1 and looking at PCG stuff. JD Husk W says, could you help me with understanding something in C++? Yeah, sure. Sure, ask away. If I will know it, I will try to help you. Fire away. JD Husk W asks about pointer and dereferencing. Okay, sure. What exactly do you want to know? Like, what is a pointer and what is the dereferencing of the pointer? Okay, so let me get to the paint. That will be the easiest way of going about that. So you're asking me about the pointer and dereferencing. Also, referencing will be needed here. So when we create in C++, let's say we have an object of a class called cat, right? If we create it by an operator new, what happens is a new object of cat is being created and allocated somewhere along the heap memory, right? If I'm not mistaken. And here is like some memory, like a physical memory, right? There's some address in the memory. Let's say whatever. There's some address, right? Which states, hey, under this physical address of a memory is the data of our cat. And let's say our cat has variables of number of lives, boolean for is fed, that is false always, and owner, which is also a pointer, right? And in memory, here is at this address, physical address of a memory, in this cell, here's where the actual lives number will be kept. With 9 is fed, etc., etc., right? This object could also have like methods and other stuff, pointers to methods, etc., etc., and it all will be kept in the memory. After you use the new cat in your code, what you will be given is a pointer, right? Cat name, I don't know, Garfield. if you type it like this, right? New cat. If you will do it like this, you'll get a pointer, which means, in the physical memory, there will be created an object with some address, and at that address, all the data about this object will be kept. In order not to really talk about and using constantly this kind of address, you have this pointer. This is the pointer to the memory, which would be like, instead of constantly saying, hey, there is a John living in some house somewhere else, you are saying John lives on the Long Island Street number 9. That's kind of similar thing. Whenever in the code you are using this exact pointer to a cat, or should I say Garfield, the code automatically knows that, hey, this is the object, this is the name of the object and the address to it, which allow you to actually get the data in the memory from this position. Now, the dereferencing. If you want to actually get the data behind the pointer, which means, hey, you just don't want to talk about this pointer, Garfield, and pass around his name, you actually want to physically hold Garfield in his hand. That's where you will dereference a pointer, which means you will actually get the data of that guy. And there is the other operation that also needs to be talked about, is the ampersand operator, which is a reference operator, which actually, let me quickly, I lost focus there. Let me quickly change one thing. When you are dereferencing a pointer, you are actually getting the data of your object. When you are referencing your pointer, let's maybe change the color, you are actually getting the address of the pointer, which means here is the actual physical Garfield. Why am I? Here is an actual physical data of Garfield, and here is the address under which he lives. The ampersand operator always gives you the actual address. It could be, like I said, Long Island Street block number 9, right? And the referencing, the star before this, is the actual physical Garfield that you can hold in your hand, while this, a pointer to a Garfield, is just like holding a picture of him and his address under which he lives. I don't know if that made a lick of sense. Okay, MK, hi, what's up? What did I miss today? Hi, Magda. First hour you didn't miss too much because I was messing around with creating custom PCG node in Blueprint and I failed miserably, and then I was able to distribute temperature of based on the distance to equator. I was able to deduce the temperature of a given point, and that's where I am right now. I'm trying to spawn some cool meshes there. JD HaskW says, I understood what the pointer is, but you lost me at dereferencing and reference. Okay. How to maybe come up with the better analogy? Dereferencing and reference. When you use an ampersand before your pointer, it's as if you were just asking the code for the exact address in the physical memory where your data lives. So the exact street address where the Garfield resides. Just a street address, nothing more. And that can be passed somewhere else in the code, for example, to free up this memory, to evict Garfield from that address, or to do some other operation on that, right? While dereferencing basically allows you to access the data, the live data, the live Garfield, and then you can do the operation on live Garfield. For example, you can see if the Garfield even exists, you can see if it lives, you can see if it is fed, etc., etc. I don't know if that makes sense, or maybe it is complicated. My explanation is complicated. I remember that when I was learning C++, I also got stuck on that tank, and it wasn't that easy to remember what all of it was, but I was just using it with a good faith, and at some point after I made lots of mistakes, I finally got, oh, okay, that's what referencing means. Okay. I'm not sure if I explained it correctly right now. Or are you still lost with my explanation of holding a live Garfield in your hand if you are using the star sign, which is dereferencing? I'll be honest, I don't like the naming convention of referencing and dereferencing because it creates a point of confusion. I have to admit, I would love to have a better naming convention for that. And to be honest, especially in Polish, when I translate things into Polish, it doesn't make any sense. And I think lots of things in general in computer science for non-native English speakers such as me is hard because the English name doesn't make any sense. Like with the pointer and referencing and dereferencing. I remember first year at university, I was like so lost because of those naming conventions. And there were other things on top of that. JD HaskW says, I think I understood. Thank you. Oof. I hope you're just not trying to be nice to me. If you know it is still lost, please say so. I will try to find like a better example or something. And yeah, okay. And Magda, to ask you to show you what we are doing right now is I have this landscape. I am using PCG. I have correctly, after 1 hour of going the wrong route, I did it in 10 minutes. Easier route. I was able to calculate the temperature of the whole landscape, basically, treating y equals 0 as an equator. And what I was able to achieve was to, right now I can ask in PCG, hey, in the zone where the temperature is between 40 and 50 degrees centigrade, spawn those desert meshes. I don't really like the way they are being spawned, but iteratively I will try to deduce what kind of setup and system for management what is being spawned and how. I think I will come up with some idea of how I want to set it up. Right now I want to create those zones of biomes, basically, based on temperature, but I really want it to be more gradient-like, but I don't know how to do it yet. So right now I will iteratively try to deduce how to build it up. Let's use some more temperate looking meshes, like maybe not super temperate. Let's use something from a red biome. Not material instances, meshes, yes. Let's use this and maybe... I have my 2 mesh entries here. And I want this fern. Does it work? It does. Thank goodness. Okay. And here. And let's spawn them. It should create, yes, a zone where the temperature is between 40 and 20 degrees. It's not, you know, like real life accurate in any way, shape, or form. And I think I made those trees a little bit too big. So let me scale them down. Maybe let's force regeneration. Oh, it's still super big. We don't see those ferns, really. Ooh, wee. So we have that. Now, 0 to 10. I also used... It's not 0 to 10, it's 0 to 20 actually. Right? Yeah. 0 to 20. And here is where the green stuff will be. Biome green, static meshes. Let's use maybe this regular tree. I don't know why this material tree bark doesn't work really. Function, RVT, error on property normal. But what is the error on property normal? I don't get it. Whatever. What ifs, what ifs, what ifs. We will just use that. I don't need the brown stuff. Yeah, and let's open up the mesh entry here. And let's choose some bush. Bush blue. And it should create a, yes, nice zone of temperature. Whoa. Biome. And something for ice cap. Do I have anything? That could be of a wide variant. Not really. Oh, here are nice. And here's something that works actually. Okay, so I will change this to this. Let's force regenerate. And let's maybe find those something for the ice cap. I don't really have anything like that. Or at least I don't think so. Oh, so maybe it will be just a barren wasteland of rocks. Let's look at that. And maybe this rock. just to create a simple visualization of the idea. And let's see this. Okay, it actually kind of looks like something. It's killing completely the performance because there's so much meshes being spawned in here. But this is something that I was kind of chasing. This is that stuff. That first hour was kind of lost. And depending on how I filter those temperatures, I could have more or less of specific biome zones, but that's not really how I want to make it work. I also want to filter what should be spawned based on the height, but that will be the next step. Because I don't want to just pass on meshes that I want to spawn and call it a day, because that's not how it really works in real life. Okay. Rather than just passing very specific static meshes, I'd rather choose what graph I want to spawn or what other graph should be executed, I think. Because that's where I could put additional layers of choosing what should be spawned and where. And that's where I could create a logic of, hey, when I have a tree, spawn stuff around the tree, some small bushes, some rocks here and there. I could create more data-driven approach that way. Let's try that. So instead of doing this, I would be doing subgraph. And let's create variable in Blueprint that is called equator biome subgraph. PCG graph, and it will be a soft object reference from what I remember. And how are your guys Sunday going? How are you guys feeling? Here I should get actor data. Not actor data. That's the wrong. Get actor property. And I should take the name of my variable if it will allow me. Ah yes, it is not visible. Thank you. It should be visible now. Is there like a refresh button? No. What the? That's not what I wanted. Property biome does exist, but it's not visible. But I just made it visible. This is exactly visible. Ah, it has no value. Okay, PCG graph, PCG equator biome. Okay, there's something. here and PCG equator biome. Okay, why it's still telling me that there is an error here? Once again, get actor property. Let's copy the name. Am I misremembering something about how to do it? Property name. Yeah, so instead of actually spawning these meshes, I could just create a subgraph. And then in my subgraph of PCG equator, I got my input. And I should cast it to points. Exactly. These are my points, and let's see if we actually are using this subgraph. Yep, we are. Instead of previous MK says, I'm not sure I understand what are you doing right now. Sorry for that. I thought you were generating trees at different heights. Last time, will you generate an environment at different heights that will have different temperatures? That's exactly what I'm trying to do right now. I'm not taking height information at this point, but basically, if we look at it from this view, maybe let's take a screenshot of that. I am taking exactly the temperature information here. Here is our equator where the temperature is the highest. I set it to like 50 degrees. And along this line, the temperature gets lower and lower until it is -20 at the North Pole. At the same thing happening here, -20. And right now I created a simple rule set that says, hey, if in the zone where the temperature is between 50 and 40, spawn something. In the zone between 40 and 20, spawn some other stuff. In the zone between 20 and 0, spawn something else, and between 0 and -20, spawn something else. That's exactly what I am doing. And this is just the first step to establish, okay, how do I create those zones? I would love to do them more in a gradient fashion, kind of like how it is in real life, but I'm not sure how to do that yet, I'll be honest. So right now I'm trying different experiments about how to manage what is being spawned where, depending on the temperature. So right now I was just spawning meshes, depending on the temperature, which means that, hey, between 40 and 20 degrees centigrade, those red trees will spawn. Between 20 and 0, green trees. Between 0 and -20, those white things, white rocks, etc., right? But it doesn't look great, right? So right now, what I am trying to do is, instead of telling the PCG graph what should be spawned between 50 and 40 degrees, I'm telling it to, hey, between 50 and 40 degrees, execute another PCG graph. And there's where I could include more rules about what should be spawned. And it will be right now probably choosing the height of this thing. And from what I see right now, I think this is the way I would be going, but still, I'm not sure how valid it is for creating the gradient of biomes, so they could fade in and fade out between biomes more naturally. Because right now I'm just taking points with a given temperature and filtering them out, and that's not exactly what I want to do. But right now I can have another PCG graph going forward. What I would love from the data point of view is to have something more akin to like a data table where I say, hey, for temperatures between 15 and 25 degrees centigrade and heights between 0 and 250 meters, or in this case unreal units, centimeters, you can use that graph. For example, I don't know, we will call it temperate planes graph. That's what I would rather do from the data point of view. Between 0 and 15 degrees on the heights of 0 to 2500 centimeters, do subpolar planes graph. Once again, for 15 till 25 degrees, but this time from here to, I don't know, 1 kilometer of mountains, use temperate mountain graph. That's kind of what I would love to do from the data point of view, where I could just work on a smaller PCGs that are dealing with the very specific like biome, temperate biome on plains, and have some rule set there, subpolar planes and some rule set there, etc, etc. That way I could work on it more in detail in regards to a specific biome. Does it make sense, Magda? Did I explain what I'm trying to do here right now? I'm basically trying to establish the data flow and how to work it out. I am not sure yet how I should work it out. But what I did right now is I was able to spawn specific trees depending on the temperature. I don't need that one. Tell me if it makes sense, Magda, because if not, I will try to explain it a little bit better. Or if some specific part it might not make sense, then also tell me about that. Okay, so right now I could have like, hey, between 40 and 50 degrees, but still. But the problem is that idea clashes with the idea of gradient, because I still have to specify the range of temperatures. Maybe it would be better to just go about it a different way. Instead of this, go about it, hey, I have this oak tree. Oak tree appears only when the temperature is between 50 and 25. These are the heights that it appears on. And when I have a point, a set of points that is within these params and couple of different plants, I could just choose one from that. That could also be a thing. I'm not sure really how to proceed from that, which means it's time to get the water. I'll be back in a hot second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. And what is the time? Yeah, I still have an hour and 30 minutes of streaming. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the... when you are trying to create like systems, etc., that's one of the crucial points, and the point where there is the most thinking, where the most thinking is being put into things, because you can write or code or create graphs or blueprints super fast just to see stuff appearing on the screen, but how to create a correct data flow and divide things so it will be easier to manage and work on, that's something that should be done carefully, and a lot of time should be put into experimentation, into thinking about which data flow will be better, which one will have pitfalls that are immediate. Yeah, let me look at the landscape for a hot second. What are the... let's take a look at this data once again. What are our height values like? The max is this, and the max is this, and the minimum is a little bit below 0. We could introduce another point of filtering. before creating a graph, before spawning with the graph. Yeah, what I right now am thinking about is creating a graph that will do the filtering based on temperature, and another graph that will do a filtering based on height data. Yep, that's what I'm thinking right now. I'll be experimenting with. So let's do that. PCG graph, temperature filtering, which basically will be this. And why am I doing it like that will be apparent in a minute. Or should I? No. I shouldn't do this. I should do, where the hell is graph settings? And input and pins. And I want to add new pin. It's landscape points. Usage. Normal. Point. Great. Here's what I will be doing. And now we will create a couple of outputs. Let's call it desert points. You will see in a hot second what will happen with this. And another rainforest points or whatever. And these are points, yes. Duplicate temperate climate points. And subpolar points. We done our filtering. Why am I doing it that way? Because now I can expose to library. Because right now I can, instead of doing all this filtering here, I can just go PCG temperature filtering. Just put everything here. Delete all of that stuff. And have one nice graph where I can see what is happening. And if I want to divide all of my temperature zones even further and make even more finer details, more biomes, I could just change this one little graph and things will work out, because it will just add new set of points to properly work out. And another thing, these are my desert, rainforest, and temperature subpolar points. I need to create another graph that will divide things for height. I will filter out things for height. So PCG graph, PCG height filtering, height filter, okay. And I will introduce biome points. I want them to be points, not splines. And on the output, I want to give out mountain points, highlands, and plains. And all of them are point, point, and point. And that way I can just copy this, go here. But instead of temperature, I can just use position.c and establish my values. For mountain points, I want them to be like, for example, from this to this. These are our mountain points. I can comment the heights. Yes, these are correct values. And now from 1000 till 10,000. This will be our highlands. Of course, this is not something environmentally correct, but I'm just trying to see if such workflow is even possible. From around 0 till 1000. And this should be right now here and not inclusive. And here not inclusive. I can add something like this. And right now I have a filter that I could apply here and a couple of points. PCG, and I haven't exposed it to library, of course. PCG height filter. And that way I can easily divide my biomes into specific points regarding the height filter, and that way I can start regulate what is being spawned here. So here I'm using temperature information, here's I'm using height information, and if I wanted to go the third step, distance to water, I could also do that, but for now I think I will leave it at that. Let's just see if it worked out, and it didn't. Why? I'm not sure. Here I have points based on temperature on each set of outputs, right? When I'm looking at subpolar, I only have temperature below 0. But then I go here and I have nothing. Wait. There's something weird going on. There is something weird going on. I should have output here. There is something weird going on, I'll be honest. And this is my polar. Okay. Here my inside filter goes here. These are my mountain points, but there is nothing on the output. Huh. Why? What did I mess up? No, it should be... Mountain points, exactly. And plains, exactly. Ah, yeah, okay. Everything's correct. I just read it badly. And now I could spawn different things depending on the biome and its height. So maybe let's do exactly that. Once again, let's try to visualize that. This is my desert points, and let's see, one mesh per thingy. 5 biomes, desert, static mesh. On the mountains of the desert, I wanna just have these bushes. Let's just do that. And or maybe scratch that. I want rocks. I want yellow rocks. I know that I saw some. Was it here? These are some yellow rocks. Okay. So that's what I want on a high altitude. Mountain points. And in the highlands, that's where I want some yellow trees. Or yellow something, bush yellow. Yeah. And on plains, I just want cacti. That would be the best. Do I have any cacti? I have some cacti. Great. Let's see how that works out. Yep, depending on height, different stuff is being spawned. In the plains, we have cacti. In the highlands, we have some yellow bushes. And on the super tall mountains, which is not on that side of things, there here we have those rocks. Of course, transform points would be great in here for mountain points. Maybe even bigger. These looks like crackers, if I'm being honest. And here are cacti. Of course, there's too much of them. But whatever. Yeah, so now we have taken the temperature and height information to the account. Of course, it looks not very pretty, but it's just visualizing what we can do with those points. And instead putting things into static spawner, I would use some subgraph that would describe exactly what I want to spawn. Create those rules that, hey, spawn one thing and smaller things around it. That's the way I would do it. And maybe that's exactly what I should do. And my main thing, it should be called desert mountains graph. Yep. And what's going on? Let's pause regeneration. Desert highlands graph and desert plains graph. Okay, let's delete or change the name of it. Desert mountains. Maybe desert mountains should spawn cacti. Yeah, exactly. So right now I have loads of points here. Debug. Let's bring it all here. And let's yeah. We changed the name, so we need to refresh that stuff. It is alright, it's just showing it badly. Let's not transform points, let's just connect this here. Can I just refresh that? No? Oh my god. That is stupid. In order to get rid of the warning, I have to create a new node and pass that. And I should have nothing? Nah, that's not what I should have. What is going on? Let me close this stuff. Desert mountains. I should have been spawning some debug points. And I have nothing. Ah, because I haven't compiled, of course. Yeah, I have my debug nodes here. I want to filter out those points, so I don't have as many points. I can do it density based, density filter. Maybe even more. Something like this. Now debug. Let's look at it. Still, there's lots of points. Let's flatten them out even more. Oh yeah, this could be it. Because I will be spawning things around it. Great. So for each such point, I want to create some points around it. So I already did something like this in my new nodes experiment. I had something that big mesh with surroundings. Here it is. Big mesh with surroundings. Detail around big mesh. That's exactly what I'm doing here. And because I already have this node and it is being done that way, I think I can get away with lots of stuff. I can just use that node. Is it? Yes, it is exposed to library. So, big mesh with surroundings. Temp 10th says, hello there. How is it going? Hi. Oh, it's going alright. It's going quite alright. How are you doing? What's up? What's up? Yeah, my parameters override. So now, as a big mesh, I want my cacti. Big mesh scale, I want to have it as 4. And my other thing, I want this to be some small rock. Temp says, I'm doing good, thanks. How is your Sunday going? Are you chilling? Are you relaxing? Did you have a good night's sleep? Oh, I want those, I want those, I want those. Yes, around my cacti. That's great. That's exactly great. You see, because I created just like a general graph that just creates a logic that there's a big mesh and a couple of things surrounding this mesh and another ring of surrounding that mesh, I can just reuse my graph from that in my desert mountains biome PCG. And I can just pick and choose what mesh I want, and I want those smaller rocks. Temp says, yes I did. I'm glad you had a good night's sleep. You're a game developer too. Oh shit. That's nice. Are you working with Unreal Engine or some other engine? And do you work at a specific company or are you a freelancer? Unity. Oh, nice, nice. Unity. What are you working on right now? If you are allowed to say, because I know NDA can be a thing. And if yeah, and maybe some twigs. I want to have some twigs lying around. And let's see how that looks like. Oh my freaking god. What the hell happened here? I think I messed something up. I have a pack of cacti. That's not exactly what I wanted. Let's scale this up. Let's overwrite all those params and see what is messed up. And why there are so many of those cacti here? There's supposed to be one. What the hell? Temp10 says, I can only say that I'm making a robot game that is about computers. Ah, okay, okay. Secretive. I get it, I respect that. I respect that. Okay, what is going on in here? Why? I think I messed something up. First of all, there's supposed to be only one center point here. Can I have a debug of that stuff? Can my debug be like, I don't know, this? Okay, it is 1 point. So why the hell are there that many cacti? Does this mesh look that weird? No, it's just one single cacti. Then what the hell? Okay, let me do a quick test. Ah, yeah, it won't work that way. Okay. Okay, where you're in here, you have 9 points. And they all have different positions. Ah, when you're doing this projection. Maybe we don't need this projection. Maybe that's a leftover from a previous stuff. Nah, not really. Now we're dealing with something very funky. Okay, mountain points. How many points do we have here? We have almost 700 points. Okay, we have 700 mountain points going in. We don't have any on this thing. We have a graph, okay, and it is desert mountain graph, of course. When we have desert mountain graph, we filtered shit out. And only 9 points are getting in. Okay. And if we are only having 9 points getting in, then what the hell are you doing here? You have 9 points. Here you still have 9 points. Okay, just show me. I only want to see mesh. You have scatter here. And you have my twigs here. So what the hell are you doing, boy? You have 9 points in here with cacti. All of them are in a completely different positions. X and Y speaking. Yet I am spawning this abomination. What the hell? This is where the abomination comes from? That's some weird shit. Let me turn on wireframe. That is really weird. I only see one. I have no clue why this doesn't work out. What the hell? And here I talk big game about reusing graphs from a previous shit. What is happening when I'm reducing this stuff? Nothing. Okay, I'm turning off. There's still that shit. What in the holy mother of hell? There are only 9 points in here. How the hell do you... I'm not really sure what is going on in here. Once again, cacti. There's something weird going on. I think it's somehow messing up and using my big mesh to spawn in those scatter points.
Stwierdzam, że Sejm poprawkę przyjął.
Yep, look at that. It's spawning mini. It messed up something with the params and it's only spawning cacti. That's some weird ass shit going on here. And I wanted those twigs, right? Let's take those twigs once again. Ah, it's even funnier than I thought. Okay, it's just using wrong mesh. Okay, I will try to fix that. Now that I know what is happening, I can actually try to work that out. That is just putting... It's somehow messing up all the params of my desert sub-biome. I will work that out. I think I know what is happening. Okay, when I'm copying these points, look at that. Here, my mesh attribute, which tells what mesh should I be spawning. It is scatter 1. Right? After copying, my mesh will be no longer, yep. Okay, so what I should do here is change the order of things. After projection has been done, okay, I will fix that right super quick. That's what should be happening. And then it is not needed. And the same stuff here. The order of what I was doing was wrong. I was assigning attributes and changing stuff for my points that were supposed to be around the big mesh of cacti. And then I was copying my points in the position of the big mesh. So actually it would create those circles around the big mesh all over the landscape. But what I failed to realize is that also when I'm copying, actually I have source first or source only. Wait, maybe I didn't have to do it that way. Let me see one thing, because I should be able to just copy it without copying metadata attributes, which is my graph. Source only, and here source only. Tag inheritors, source. And now, of course, I need to save, I need to regen. What is, yeah, I haven't connected it. And now let's see the mesh, only mesh. It should be my scatter, and it should be fixed. Yay, we fixed that shit. Of course, nothing is being projected on a goddamn landscape, so that sucks. So I should do a copy earlier than I thought, but that's okay. At least we were able to quickly debug what was wrong with that picture. And what was wrong was the order of execution. First, I need to create the circle, then copy, clone it, and put it around all the big mesh points, and then I could do projections and other stuff. So, yeah. And that's funny because I did similar work at work, and I realized that I have the same problem there, and I fixed it, and I forgot about this here. Here, once again, after I create this big thing, then I can do projection, I can do all the other stuff, blah blah blah. I can delete those, I can just go like this, and they won't be hanging in the air, because right now I am able to project them after copying. And now I have beautifully placed now I can play with parameters, of course, in my desert biome. For example, I can change the scale to 2, or maybe to 4, maybe to 2. Then I can play with like the radius of my first surrounding thingy. I can decrease the sample count or increase the sample count, but I think decrease will be better. And maybe increase the radius so much that they will start spreading out that much. Hell yeah. And the twigs that I don't know logically where they might come from, they wouldn't be broken from a cacti, but whatever. Yeah, and the scale can be from here to here. And we have our graph for mountain deserts. Yay! Is there any high point in here? No. Okay. Let's move on to the highlands, because it will be basically the same exact graph. I could also take those points and do some additional stuff with it, but for now that will do. I messed up the naming of it, and I also messed up. Okay, it can be like that. PCG Desert Highlands. First of all, Desert Highlands, I need to include it here. Compile it. Delete this. I can delete that, or maybe later. And yeah, I have a subgraph. I have this. Let me save it. Let me get into the desert highlands. What kind of mesh do I want here? Because I don't want cacti. That I can tell you. How about biome bamboo? Yeah. Maybe I could have it like that. And a fern in here, and or bamboo shouldn't be there. But whatever. What do we have here? Maybe this rock scada. Yeah. It doesn't look deserty, to be honest. Yeah, I need something different than this. Maybe this oak stump? Yeah? Yeah, we could also use RVT, from what I understand, to start influencing the landscape around it. But that's for completely another stream. And now we will do quickly desert plains. And now the only thing I need to do is go to my desert plains graphs, and of course I made a typo, but whatever. And let's search. That's where the cacti actually is supposed to be, not in the mountains. So let me take the cacti, put it in here. This can be okay, but I need to find something else for desert. Yeah, maybe this. Yeah, and I can just pick, with that setup that I did, I can just pick meshes, play around with, you know, with variables. And work it like this. And let me just quickly clean up the PCG. And we have it. Some deserty. We're going higher and higher. The more dead it is. Great. Now I can easily, I only have like half an hour of stream left. But I can, thanks to this setup, I can quickly bang out the graphs for rainforest, temperate climate points, etc., etc. And subpolar points. Can I have like subgraph and god damn it, it would be awesome to have a subgraph as a parameter. I don't have anything like this, right? Get graph parameter. No. Graph. Loop and subgraph. Not really. Okay, whatever. I can just go like this. Hook it up. In those. This is not needed anymore. Islands and plains. And just make sure that I have what it was. Rainforest. Okay. Rainforest. And rainforest. Islands. Rainforest, plains. Great. I have all of that stuff. I can quickly just copy my desert plains, name them rainforest, mountains, rainforest, highlands, and rainforest. Yeah, right now it is a boring part of, I mean, not boring, this is actually the creative part when I just pick meshes, see how they look, and I could adjust my graphs in order to make it prettier and prettier, etc., etc. But thanks to this division, I could just give it to artists, get their feedback of how much more control they want over it, and they would be able to bang out that stuff real easy. Let's save all of that. And let's open up the planes. Let's set them here. Let's compile that. And now the only thing that I need to do, because it's already spawned, is just swap assets. Really. I can start searching for something interesting. It is a rainforest, right? So that's where I might use this biome bamboo stuff. I can just use that. Rainforest plain. Those trees are really big, so make them big. In the rainforest, they are not bamboo, but whatever. I of course want to use some ferns. Hell yeah. And use some ivy. Let's see how that looks like. That looks like nothing, and I wonder why. Because I probably haven't changed the name. Let's type the proper property name. Let's regenerate it. And we have our rainforest. Huge rainforest. And the cool thing is, I could just, I will show it in a second. Let me just finish the rainforest thingy. And you'll see what I mean. Now let's go for highlands. And rainforest highlands. I just go here, parameters overdrive. I can just, where I was. Oh my god. Once again, let's go to bamboo collection. It's not exactly that, but it'll actually do in a second. Static meshes here. I can choose the second bamboo, make the scale smaller, yeah. Choose more rocks instead of anything else. The green doesn't work on that material. Great. How about that cliff? Does that cliff work? No, it doesn't. Okay. Fuck you then. Go to hell, etc, etc. So I'll just use something else. Here, I'll use bamboo. That smaller bamboo. And I will use some rocks. Maybe these rocks, yeah. How does it look like? Okay, I still haven't changed the graph on Rainforest Highlands to Rainforest Highlands. And now we have our highlands. Depending on the height, different things will pop in, and I already know what to change in here. Okay. Now, let me show you something cool. Let's pause the, or even clean up, and turn off the PCG component. I will turn on the landscape mode, and I will sculpt a little, just a little mountain. Over here. Maybe I need a bigger brush size. And let's end this. And let's select our PCG once again. If I can click it. Ah, yes. And now the thing has changed because, as you can see, in the middle of a rainforest, a mountain appeared, and our PCG adjusted to the landscape height. I wonder if it will work in real time. I think I turned it off somewhere. Ignore landscape tracking. No, I don't have it turned on. Okay. So if I turn on landscape, and I will start sculpting, like right here. And I will finish sculpting, it will reflect exactly what I'm doing. Yes. I don't know why it spawns cacti, though. Ah, because I haven't finished mountain. Yeah. But as you can see, my PCG and the logic of it is set up as such that whatever level landscape I spawned it on, or whatever change I made to a landscape, all the biomes and all the spawning will adjust accordingly. Of course, trees don't grow like that, they grow up, so that could be fixed. Quite easily. To ignore the normal. But you see what I'm saying? If you set up the PCG logic in such way as mine that I'm using the landscape height information, the temperature, etc. Whatever I do with the level, it will automatically adjust. And the role of the artist would be to work more on the graphs and landscape than manually adjusting each one mesh individually and manually. Okay, let's finish the job with the rainforest mountains so we can actually see that stuff. I don't know what actually I want to see there, I'll be honest. This is supposed to be rain forest, so maybe this. And as a small detail, this, and another small detail, this. I can just regenerate. And we still have cacti? What the hell? Ah, okay, I think I know what I did. The variables are probably not set up yet, right? Of course, PCG, rain, forest, mountains. Great. That stuff is set up. And also this stuff needs to be set up. The one thing though, I wish I could make even better here is to not reference stuff through variables in BP, but have just like a data table with those names pointing to the specific graphs. And the same way, I would love to have the names of those variables, or even just pointers to the graph, specific graph, be used as a property, as an attribute for point, and then I could just execute subgraph based on the property. Or somewhere else, I don't know. But yeah, that would be cool. Maybe there is a way, instead of doing this. Yeah, I should experiment with data tables more, because this might be even more simpler if set up correctly. Yeah, but we should have no cacti. Right now we have the things that we chose for desert, for rainforest mountains. And the same shit should be happening in here. Yeah, exactly. And the same way I would build out the temperate climate and of course the subpolar. I still have a little bit of time, so I can bang that out. This is temperate climate. Let's bang that out quickly. Oh my god, I hate when sometimes the shortcuts are not really working. Isn't it called moderate in English? Fuck me. It is. I just did the direct translation from Polish. That's what happens. Yeah. I will rename everything in a second. Moderate. It needs to compile, of course. Now I need to create those graphs again. Rainforest mountains becomes moderate mountains. Rainforest highlands become moderate highlands, and rainforest plain becomes moderate. Yeah, there's a lot of setting up with this kind of stuff. And to make sure that we are taking correct stuff, moderate. Yeah, that's why I had been talking about data tables, that maybe I wouldn't have to click around so much. That's something that I will probably investigate on the next stream. Although I kind of want to get back to the design streams, but whatever. And now in here I need to change the name of that output to moderate. Maybe not, because I see there might be a problem. Okay, doesn't matter. I know what it means, etc. It should right now work. And if I go to my moderate plane, for example, and I will choose something from from a stylized forest. Then I will choose this bush. Then I will choose these dandelions. It should appear immediately. Yep. But the trees should probably be a little bit bigger. Oh, it already is super big. Wait, I don't have dandelions here. It didn't spawn yet. What the flying hell? Of course, I forgot about that. Now it will be okay. It haven't spawned yet. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, I have it. I have it right here. I could just tweak variables ad infinitum. Oh, so many bushes, and they are too big. Way too big. Like, they should be more like this. Exactly. Now we can see dandelions. And I should probably introduce more of a scale difference here. Instead of making it 1 scale, I should turn that big mesh scale, graph settings. Oh my god. Big mesh scale max. Because right now all of that is too uniform. And the amazing user experience of moving parameters up in PCG graph. If anyone from PCG team is watching this, please make it more usable. Look at how much time I'm wasting. I cannot just grab it and move it upward. And we almost there. Oh my god. Ooh, and now rename big mesh scale min. I wonder if it will break the whole project. It shouldn't, but you know. The max should be 3, the min should be 1. Let's see that. the max should be 5, the min should be 3. Oh my god. Yeah, but basically right now it's all about prettifying it. And let's change the highlands. PCG moderate. Highlands, exactly. And this will be the last one I will do for today. The one thing that I realized is that doing those more tech art oriented, artist oriented streams, they are way more chilled out. And the design ones are more high intense. And let's get into moderate. I can just type in PCG moderate highlands. Exactly. And I want what do I want? Maybe pine, actually. That's what I want. Yeah. One pine. Then this smaller tree. And some pink flowers. How about that? That poplar tree is an overkill. So instead, let me choose some ivy. Yeah, how about that? No, oh my god, that's what I wanted. The pink flower stays. Yeah. Now you can see more that, okay, this is a very deserted area in the equator. Then we have some rainforesty thingies, but only in the plains. When it is higher, it becomes more deserty once again. Then we have more temperate, moderate climate. So we have this type of deal. And I don't really have meshes for snowy areas. That's something that I have to figure out. I can also quickly PCG moderate mountains. I can do quickly that. Moderate mountains. Let's open this up. Let's choose our meshes. In moderate mountain areas, there are still some trees, but there are less of them. So we should pick like a. How about this rock cliff? This will be our main mesh. Yeah, whatever. Oak tree accent. I like that as a small thingy. And somewhere between 0.5 and 2, yeah. And some other small accent, it will be a rock. Once again, a small rock. Let's see how that will work out. We need to reduce the amount of points for that. Even more. It didn't trigger. No, it's still... What the hell? Ah, because I'm... Didn't use the right... That's what I wanted to reduce. Exactly. First surrounding mesh. That's what I want for moderate mountains. It doesn't make a logical sense, but you know, it's all about just showing how you can quickly, using those new nodes, etc., come up with some sort of rule-based spawning of PCG, create biomes that will react to your landscape changes, etc., etc., and put it on whatever level and it will still work out. So now if I wanted to really make it pretty, I would probably team up with the artist, take this type of graph and supply it with additional controls, more meshes, more rules. Like we have big mesh with 2 surrounding meshes, rings of surrounding meshes. What else can we do? What other rules can we add? And that's not even talking about, you know, like water, that I could try spawning water in the level and create rules based on that. That if you are further from the nearest source of water, then the more deserty it becomes, etc., etc. Yeah, right now, if I wanted to really make it pretty, I would work with the artist to talk about more rules. What meshes do we need? What kind of adjustments, etc., etc. And the landscape, how we will generate the landscape. But the rules here are already set. It kind of shows how you can quickly create temperature and height based spawning. I wonder, do I have what my game mode is? What is like a regular game mode? I have a default pawn, etc. I wonder if I can just walk around this level as a player would. Yeah. So now I am in this deserty area and I'm walking in the rainforest. Yeah, these should be bigger. And we are exiting the... We are in the moderate climate. Mountain or highlands, moderate climate. Or maybe these are mountains. I kind of forgot. No, mountains are there. And I could introduce some ice stuff, but I don't have ice environment yet. I will try to come up with something, or maybe change some meshes here and there. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad it worked out. All right, I think it will be... Yeah, I think that's it for me. I think that's it for me for today. It was a chilled out stream, to be honest. The first hour I kinda wasted on trying to, you know, do that stuff, but Yeah, trying to do blueprint-based PCG node, and I would probably still be doing it if I went that route instead of simply going into the graph. And all that 1 hour I was able to just basically wait. It was surpassing this. Those couple of nodes are surpassing what I tried to do with the PCG node, and it is way faster than the blueprint PCG node. So if you don't have to, don't create PCG blueprint nodes unless you just want to prototype something. But lots of things can be just done with the attribute operations. That's my takeaway for today. And you can easily create the temperature and height based spawning, and then decide what graph is being used, for example, for rainforest plains. And there you can just start creating your own biome and additional micro rules to decide what is being spawned where in the rainforest, mountains, etc, etc. I like what I'm doing here. I will review it with, I'm not sure if she's here, Magda, my environmental artist friend, biome artist friend. Maybe something can be done with it further at some other stream. But for now, I am really glad how it worked out. I might come back to it once the full 5.5 version gets released, so I could see maybe some additional nodes got in or something, and maybe we could work something out with that. I'm not sure what the next stream will be about, whether design or something else. We will see. But until then, let me maybe just clean this level out of this all objects. Now save it and save all the assets. And with that, I bid you adieu. Have a nice Sunday, nice chilled out Sunday, not too eventful. Just chill out, relax, and have a good time. See ya guys on the next stream from Other Also. Bye bye.